Ravenwood Manor. Claire Everleigh's carriage rattled to a stop at the foot of the long, winding drive. Here in the hush of twilight, Ravenwood Manor rose like a faded memory, its tall, narrow turrets and endless windows half hidden behind tangled ivy and the skeletal branches of ancient oaks. A cold wind swept over the lawn, carrying the scent of damp earth and late autumn leaves. Claire hesitated before stepping down. She felt the weight of her great-aunt Isabel's legacy in the brass key she held, a key delivered in a crisp, unmarked envelope just days ago. The letter inside simply read, "Come home to Ravenwood. All will be revealed." Her heart pounded with questions. Why had Isabel summoned her after vanishing 10 years ago? And what all awaited her behind the manor's heavy doors? The oak doors groaned as Claire inserted the key. She pushed, and they swung open into a vast foyer lit by a single chandelier, dimly glowing with flickering candles. Long shadows danced across high ceilings and marble floors streaked with dust. Portraits of stern-faced ancestors lined the walls, their eyes seemingly following her every move. As Claire took her first step inside, the doors slammed shut behind her with a decisive click. The hush of the outside world vanished, replaced by a stillness that felt almost alive. Gathering her courage, Claire lifted her lantern and called out, "Aunt Isabel? It's Claire." But only silence answered. The foyer's lantern light revealed more, a grand staircase curving upward, its banister carved with ravens and roses. Each step seemed to beckon Claire, yet the weight of unseen eyes made her hesitate. She turned toward the portraits generations of Everleighs, their faces frozen in oil and canvas, eyes cold and unwelcoming. One portrait hung apart, her great-aunt Isabel, her expression tender but sad, her hand reaching outward as if offering help. Beneath it, a brass plaque read, "Truth lies where shadows gather." Claire's breath caught. Shadows. Truth. The words felt both warning and invitation. A soft click echoed from the staircase landing. Claire's lantern hand trembled. From above came a single footfall. She called again, voice catching, "Isabel." The footfall paused, then retreated. Determined, Claire climbed the stairs, each portrait's gaze like a silent question. At the top of the stairs, a heavy door creaked open to reveal the library. Floor-to-ceiling shelves groaned under the weight of leather-bound tomes. Dust motes drifted in the air, and a cold draft fluttered open a book on a reading table. On its open page, Claire saw her aunt's handwriting, notes about voices in the walls, and a key that remakes fate. She crossed to the desk, where scattered papers showed a hand-drawn map of the manor's lower levels, annotated with Chamber of Echoes and Heartwood Key. As Claire studied the map, the hearth's embers glowed suddenly, then flickered out. In the dim glow of her lantern, the bookshelf opposite shifted grainy wood scraping on stone to reveal a narrow staircase spiraling downward. Claire swallowed hard, heart racing. The invitation to truth grew louder than her fear. She stepped through the gap. The hidden staircase deposited Claire back in the main hall, but the atmosphere had changed. Shadows gathered in corners, and the air felt thick. She held her lantern high, revealing dusty furniture draped in moth-eaten cloth. Each footstep echoed like a heartbeat. Then came the whispers. Faint at first fragments of conversation, laughter, sorrow. Claire's pulse hammered. She followed the voices to a closed door at the hall's end. Through the keyhole, moonlight spilled into a nursery. A rocking horse moved on its own, and in the cradle lay a dusty doll, eyes glinting in the gloom. Claire grasped the brass doorknob. Inside, the lullaby began soft, sorrowful, sung by no one she could see. Shaking off her fear, Claire discovered another tapestry swirling in the moonlight. Pushing it aside revealed a carved panel. Pressing a hidden switch, the panel swung inward to expose a spiral staircase descending into near-pitch darkness. A damp, earthy smell rose from below. With lantern in hand, Claire descended, her steps cautious. The air grew colder, and distant droplets echoed like tiny bells. At the bottom, a heavy iron door stood, its surface etched with the Everly crest, a heart entwined with ravens. Claire's breath froze. She inserted the heartwood key from her aunt's notes into the lock. It turned with surprising ease, and the door swung open to a vast cellar lined with crates and stone pillars. Symbols glowed on the walls, runes Claire recognized from her aunt's diary as wards against unwanted spirits. In the center, a circular dais bore a dark stain. Claire stepped forward, heart pounding. The lantern's flame bent as if drawn by an unseen force. She knelt by the dais, recalling the diary's warning, "Only the brave may hear the echoes." Claire whispered her aunt's name. The floor trembled, and a low hum filled the air, voices calling names, sharing regrets. Claire's eyes welled. These were the unspoken memories of the Everleys trapped here. She understood now. Her quest wasn't just to free Isabel's spirit, it was to liberate an entire family's sorrow. Retracing her steps upward, Claire found herself at the door to the tower's séance room. Curling mist seeped from beneath it. Inside, a circle of melted candles surrounded an inlaid pentagram. The air was electric. Claire placed the heartwood key at the pentagram's center and spoke words her aunt had scrawled in the diary. "By blood and love, I break this chain. Spirits bound, now free again." Candles flared and ghostly figures materialized Isabel's parents, translucent and trembling. Claire stepped forward, voice steady as she whispered apologies and farewells. Each spirit nodded, then dissipated into motes of light, carried away on a breath of wind. The room stilled, the candles guttered, and hope bloomed in Claire's chest. Claire descended to the grand hall where a hidden panel lay beneath the chandelier. She fitted the heartwood key into its lock. With a click, the floor shifted, revealing a stone set into the ground labeled Truth. Breathing deeply, Claire pressed it. The floor split open to reveal a narrow trapdoor leading to the attic. The ladder above groaned as she climbed, each rung testing her resolve. At the attic's peak, Claire found a simple room bathed in moonlight. In its center stood a pedestal carrying a single letter, Isabel's final confession. With trembling fingers, Claire opened it. Isabel wrote of grief too vast to bear, of a ritual meant to preserve love but gone awry, trapping her family's souls in endless longing. Tears blurred Claire's vision. She realized her aunt's sacrifice. She erased herself to save her kin. Determined to end the cycle, Claire laid the letter on the floor and recited Isabel's final words, an incantation of release. The attic filled with golden light. The air warmed, and the chandelier's crystals chimed like laughter. Claire felt a gentle tug on her heart, as if Ravenwood itself exhaled relief. Exiting the manor at first light, Claire paused on the steps. The drive, once tangled with weeds, now glowed with dew-kissed roses. The iron gates stood open, welcoming. The portrait's eyes no longer bore down, but seemed to smile. Claire placed the heartwood key in her pocket, knowing she held not just a key to doors, but to her family's healing. As the sun rose, Claire walked away from Ravenwood Manor, its towers gleaming in morning gold. She felt her aunt's presence at her shoulder, proud, at peace. Claire knew the manor's whispers had ended. replaced by echoes of laughter and life yet to come. With every step, she carried Ravenwood's legacy forward, turning sorrow into strength, mystery into hope.